Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. This series explores early Christian texts that were excluded from the Bible, not because they were obscure, but because they preserved versions of Jesus and his teachings that no longer fit the direction Christianity was taking. Today's text is one we cannot read in full, because it was deliberately allowed to disappear. It is known as the Gospel of the Hebrews. Unlike many other excluded Gospels, the Gospel of the Hebrews was not a Gnostic text. It was deeply Jewish, and that, ironically, became its problem. This Gospel circulated among early Jewish Christian communities, groups who followed Jesus but still observed Jewish law, traditions, and cultural identity. For them, Jesus was not a replacement for Judaism. He was a teacher within it. What survives of this gospel comes only through quotations by early church writers, often hostile ones. They criticized it, quoted it selectively, and then dismissed it. But the fragments we have are revealing. In the Gospel of the Hebrews, Jesus speaks with a voice that feels intimate, earthy, and relational. He refers to the Holy Spirit in feminine terms, describing the Spirit as a mother who carries and guides him. This alone made later church leaders uncomfortable. In one fragment, Jesus says that his mother, the Holy Spirit, carried him to the mountain. This is not metaphorical poetry. It reflects an ancient Semitic understanding of spirit as nurturing, relational, and embodied. That version of the Spirit did not survive empire. Another striking feature of this gospel is how it treats resurrection. Instead of focusing on spectacle or cosmic drama, the resurrection appears personal and immediate. Jesus appears first not to Peter, not to the 12, but to James, his brother. This detail mattered. James represented a Jewish Christian leadership that emphasized ethics, community responsibility, and continuity with Jewish law, not theological abstraction. As Christianity moved away from its Jewish roots and toward a Greco-Roman audience, that leadership became inconvenient. The Gospel of the Hebrews also appears to downplay sacrifice and replace it with compassion. One fragment has Jesus rejecting animal sacrifice entirely, echoing prophetic traditions rather than priestly ones. This presents a Jesus who aligns more closely with Hebrew prophets than with Roman theology. Historically, the Gospel of the Hebrews reflects a crossroads moment in early Christianity. At that moment, the movement had to choose: remain rooted in Jewish ethics and community life, or reinvent itself as a universal religion detached from its origins. Empire chose universality. That choice required distancing Christianity from Judaism, reframing Jesus as separate from Jewish law, and redefining salvation in abstract, theological terms rather than lived practice. The Gospel of the Hebrews did not support that shift. It preserved a Jesus who was too Jewish, too relational, too embodied, and too close to everyday life. So it was not canonized. It was not preserved. And eventually, it vanished. What makes this gospel important today is what it reveals about exclusion. Not all texts were removed because they were mystical or radical. Some were removed because they were too familiar, too rooted, too resistant to reinvention. The Gospel of the Hebrews reminds us that Christianity did not begin as a break from Judaism. It began as a conversation within it. And once that conversation became inconvenient, its voice was quietly erased.